already explained you yesterday. That is land, labor, capital, and enterprise. So if each and every individual nation, now what Adam Smith is giving for you, what Adam Smith is trying to explain you, he is trying to explain you the broader perspective, the major perspective. Now, what is that major perspective? Now, whenever we are dealing with a particular term called as a nation, it is a macroeconomic perspective from the viewpoint of Adam Smith. Now, the viewpoint may change what on which map you are referring for. If you are referring the map of the world economic or the world graph, then at this stage, the nation will be micro perspective and the world will be the macro perspective. If you are referring this particular nation, then at this particular stage, the nation of India will be a macro perspective and an individual state will be a micro perspective. So with with the terms of the definition, we have to be very clear whenever we are defining a particular country, whenever we are defining a particular nation, what we are aiming for or what we are looking for, whether we are looking for a broader picture or whether we are looking for a smaller picture. The broader picture will be specifically of a macroeconomic perspective and the smaller picture will be specifically of a microeconomic perspectives. So the definition of Adam Smith, inquiry into the nature and causes. So what are the various causes due to which the wealth of a particular nation increases? Whether they have efficient or abundant amount of capital, whether they have efficient or abundant number of land availability, labor availability of resources, and so on. So all the factors of production, if they are in a stable state, if they are being provided in abundant nature, then that particular country or that particular nation is called as a self-sufficient nation or a developed nation. Furthermore, defining a nation in terms of the developing economy, which country or which economy can be called as a developed economy, wherein any one of the factor of production is less in number. Now, which are the various factors of production? That is land, labor, capital, and enterprise. So, India. Now, considering the example of India, now what do we do? Now, just note down up, or just you can listen to this particular concern. That is, if we are taking the economy of example of Indian economy. So land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Now at this stage, in terms of land, yes, India is having ample amount of number of land that is there into existence. Labor, yes, the population of India is also high. That is 130 billion, 130 crore of population of India. We have good number of labor also. Capital, now here at this stage, the availability of capital, whether in comparison to Europe, in comparison to USA, in comparison to Australia, in comparison to China, in comparison to Russia, the amount of capital that is available with the economy, amount of capital that is available with the government, amount of capital that is available with the companies, it is comparatively less. Now, in this case, what happened? If one factor of production, now what is that particular factor of production? That is capital. So land is sufficient, labor is sufficient, capital is not sufficient. So in this case, what happened? The country falls under the purview, country falls under the category of an developing nation. That is the second factor. So in this case, what happened? The availability of capital is less and hence India is called as an developing nation. The fourth factor, that is an enterprise. So number of firms that have been regulated or that have been into existence on the largest perspective. Yes, we do have Indian Companies Act into existence. We have different laws, regulations into existence. And from this particular concern, the enterprise can be set, the enterprise can be established. There are various manufacturing industries that are there into existence and they frequently produce, that is manufacture goods, and it has been distributed to different customers or the consumers. So at this stage, the enterprise is into existence, labor is also available, land is also available, but the availability of capital is less. The amount of currency, the convertibility of the currency, the value of the Indian currency is not much competitive in the world economic market. Now at this stage, for example, when do we say? That is the price of dollar to rupee. Now, if you want to purchase the dollar currency, then what do we say? We have to give 74 or 76 rupees, and then in return of 74 or 76 rupees, we can get one amount of dollar currency. That is $1 is equal to 74 rupee or 76 rupee. If the situation is such that 1 rupee is equal to $1, that is 1 INR, Indian National Rupee, is equal to 1 USD, then at this stage, what we can say, the capital currency, the capital value of Indian economy is equal to US economy. That stage we have to achieve. Only when that particular stage can be achieved, then we can say that the currency is of an equivalent position and India will be called as an developed nation. So this is a difference between a developing country and a developed nation. Another example of South Africa or different nations which are there into existence, or Egypt. Now at this stage, Egypt being a smaller nation, what happened? The availability of land, or with in terms of South Africa. South Africa के पास क्या है? There is ample amount of land available with them. There is less amount of labor available with them. So now labor is also divided into two factors or two categories. That is skilled labor, and second is the unskilled labor. So we, in terms of the Indian economy, we have both amount of availability of labor, that is the skilled labor and unskilled labor. In terms of China also, they have both amount of labor available, that is skilled and unskilled. But in terms of South Africa, they are not having availability of this skilled labor, but they are having ample number of unskilled labor that is available with them. So in this case, what we can see, there is imbalance between the availability of labor. Capital, again, there is no amount of availability of capital. Enterprise, there is no amount of availability of enterprises also. So in this case, what we can do, we can clearly identify as per the factors of production, the definition that has been provided by the factors of production with respect to the economic perspective, then which are the various components. So components हमको क्या है? That particular major components are the land, labor, capital, enterprise. Out of this, South Africa is having ample number of land, but they are not having labor, they are not having capital, and they are not having enterprises into existence. So hence, what happened? South Africa falls under the third category, that is least developed nations. So accordingly, what Adam Smith gives you a certain definition or a certain understanding about causes of wealth of nations. So what are those particular cause? That particular cause is availability of the factors of production. So if all the factors of production are available with you in an efficient number, in ample number, in sufficient number, in abundant stage, then that particular nation or that particular economy can be called as an efficient economy or good economy. So in this case, Adam Smith defines what is economics. So economics is an inquiry. So what do we have to do? We have to inquire into the factors of production. कि अगर मुझे कहना है कि इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज बेस्ट, इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज गुड, यूएसए इकोनॉमी इज बेस्ट, देन व्हाट डू आई हैव टू सी? आई हैव टू सी फॉर द नेचर ऑफ द कॉजेस ऑफ फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. So what is the nature? So what type of land is available with the economy of US? So whenever we say if you want to compare US economy and Indian economy, then the production capacity of land. So if we want to say production capacity, whether the land is fertile or whether land is infertile, whether the quality or whether the production that is being generated, that is the food grains that have been developed, whether they have qualitative food grains or the food grains is not good. Whenever we say availability of land, it is directly relation with the quality of climate. So what are the climatic conditions in a particular country, whether the climatic conditions are stable or whether the climatic conditions are unstable. All these factors of just land is into existence. The fertility of the soil, whether the fertility of soil is increasing, decreasing, degrading, and so on. In the other case, availability of land also plays an important role, that is amount of hectares of land into production. What amount of or what proportion of land is been given for agriculture, what proportion of land is given for industry, what proportion of land is given for the services sector, what proportion of land is given for the pharmaceutical, what proportion of land is given for the services sector, and so on. So bifurcation of the land also plays an important role. Labor, different amount of labor availability, that is whether the labor availability is skilled labor, unskilled labor, and so on. Capital availability, whether the capital is available in terms of the US currency, INR currency, dollar currency, euro currency, yen currency, gold deposits, and so on. So what amount of currency the country is been generating or manufacturing or printing, whether the printing of currency is very frequent, very efficient, and not. In terms of capital resources, what is the GDP of this particular nation, that is over a period of time, what wealth country is been producing, how is the manufacturing state of a particular country. All these factors has to be inquired. Only then you can understand what is economics. Just a simple definition, but a very exhaustive, very brief definition that has been provided by Adam Smith. Economics is an inquiry into nature and causes of wealth of a nation. So we have to make a thorough inquiry in a particular economy. Now, whenever we are doing this particular inquiry, what do we have to see? We have to see from a broader perspective and not a narrower perspective. What you have to see, whenever we say that Indian economy or whenever we refer Indian economy, what we are doing, we are looking the entire country at a broader perspective. Now, whenever we say at a country at a broader perspective, we have to consider all states all together. That is all the 28 or 30 states that are there into existence, each and every state has to be considered, each and every individual company has to be considered, each and every individual citizen has to be considered, and then only the country can be judged, or it can be measured, or it can be identified. So whenever we say that all the population, that is 130 billion of the 130 crores of the population is taken into consideration, only then we can come to a certain conclusion about the wealth of a nation, how the Indian economy is been performing, how the nation is been performing, what is the state of this particular economy. That was the definition that was been provided by Adam Smith. So a brief, thorough explanation. Second definition that has been provided by Lord Robbins. Economics is a study of human behavior as a relationship between end and scare means which have alternate uses. Now just check the particular perspective. The major differentiation between Adam Smith and Lord Robbins. Adam Smith definition refers to the 16th and 17th century, whereas Lord Robbins, that is Professor Llewellyn Robbins, definition refers to the 17th, 18th and 19th century. So after the beginning of 18th century, the Robinson area comes into picture, and accordingly the definition has been provided. Economics is a study of human behavior. So accordingly, what do we have to see? We have to understand the human behavior. Now, yesterday when we were dealing with the understanding of the basic concepts of economics, what we have seen for each and every perspective, each and every component of economics is directly related, is directly proportional with the change in the behavior pattern of an individual. So जैसे जैसे human behavior change होगा, as and when the human behavior changes, as and when the consumption of an individual changes, your economics will change accordingly over a period of time. That is, for example, the land, labor, capital, and enterprises. So as the individual human behavior changes, the pattern will be changing, the consumption will be changing, the demand will be changing, the supply will be changing, and accordingly your relationship between the end and scare means. Now what happened at this stage? What do we have to understand? We have to understand about the need of a particular individual. So what is the need? Basic essential requirements of an individual, that is food, clothing, and shelter. So it is directly related with the terms of economics. What a particular individual has to look for, or what he is needing, the basic essential requirements of an individual is food, clothing, shelter. Food at every stage being a human behavior, it is a natural cause, it is a natural situation that at every stage or point of time, after a certain frequency level, he will be needing food. That is the human being. That is, we have seen an example of a particular lady standing on a particular bus stop. That is, if you are standing for a 15 minutes, 30 minutes, you will be in a need of water. If you are standing for a more period, you will be need in additional supplement or a certain consumption pattern. If you're standing for a more period, then you will be getting hungry and you will go to a particular store, you will go to a particular restaurant or a particular mall, and accordingly you will be purchasing certain goods and services for your food consumption. Over a period of time, you will be needing food also, you will be needing a shelter also, and you will be needing clothes also. And these particular needs that have been required, it is an ever non-ending activity. So over a period of time, after day in and day out, the needs of a particular individual keeps on changing, keeps on alternating. Now for this particular concern, what happened? Various alternative uses are also been provided. That is, if you don't want to drink water, then you have Coca-Cola into existence, you have soft drinks, you have hard drinks, you have different mineral waters, you have different liquids that are there in existence, and accordingly, the thirst can be satisfied with different alternative uses. If you are hungry, then the basic food that you need is your dal, roti, and chapati. After a point of time, if you're not satisfied with this, then you can use alternative different sources. You can go to different types of varieties of foods. If that thing is also not satisfied, then you can go for a different vegetarian products. If vegetarian is not satisfied, then you can go for non-vegetarian. If you are not satisfied with the Indian traditional food, then you can go with the Western foods, then you can go with the fast foods, and so on. So what happened? What the individual has done, what the human being he has done, he has tried to identify different means for his satisfaction. His satisfaction level is not achieved at any point of time, and due to this concern, what happened? The factors of production are employed over a period of time. Now, what are those factors of production? That is the enterprise that is there into existence. Earlier, there was only one single company, that is the khadi industry, that was there into existence. People, what they used to do, they used to properly rotate that charkha, and accordingly, from that particular concern, with the sood girnis, the cloth was being prepared and the thread was being prepared. From that particular thread, the khadi industry came into picture, and accordingly, people used to use only khadi products or the khadi clothes. Over a period of time, Manchester came into existence, and accordingly they started to manufacture, or they started textile industry. From this textile, people started to produce fine cloths, and accordingly the tarn was also being produced, the yarn was also being produced, and accordingly the bundles of cloth started to be produced. Over a period of time, the enterprises started to establish, various manufacturers were into existence, and accordingly various brands also came up. So whenever the brands came into existence, the different varieties of clothes, different types of cloth, different fashion designing industry, they started to grow, develop day by day, and accordingly what happened, food industry started to develop, cloth industry started to develop, and enterprises also started to develop day by day. So what do we understand? That is human behavior. It is not stable over a period of time. It keeps on changing as and when it is been required. And accordingly, to satisfy those particular human behavior, we implement, we inculcate, we try to put into practice the various scarce means which are into existence. So whether the resources are scarce, but what do? We utilize those particular resources in an effective way, and accordingly, the alternative uses are being brought to an individual. Okay, any difficulty at this stage in understanding the introduction, that is definition which has been provided by Adam Smith and Lord Robbins? Quickly, you can ask within 30 seconds. Any questions? Anyone?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, there are that is the society must be resources efficiently.
Yes, for this particular concern, you have to see that whatever the resources are available with us, they must be used very effectively, efficiently, because all these particular resources are very scarce. At every stage or point of time, what do we have to do? If these particular resources are not available, we have to go to the deep earth, and accordingly from the deep excavation, the resources has to be excavated. But that particular thing also, it is of a limited nature. So what do we have to do? We have to always see and find that what is alternative use for this particular concern. Now, for example, in the olden days, if you want, if you are having a certain consumption, or if you have a certain need of wearing the ornaments. Now, what the old people or the ladies or gents, what the rajas and maharajas, what they used to do, they used to wear different types of ornaments. And these particular ornaments were specifically made of only gold as a certain perspective. Over a period of time, what happened? The human behavior, the human individual, they identified that gold is also of a limited perspective. And if you want to prepare more type of gold elements, what we have to do? You have to manufacture. That is, you have to extract the gold from the iron ores, and accordingly, then only the ornaments can be made. Then relationship between end and scare means which have alternative uses. End and scare means, so whatever, what is the particular concern? End and scare means, so जैसे जैसे आपके इंडिविजुअल बढ़ते जाएंगे, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ द पॉपुलेशन टुडे इज 1, tomorrow the population will be 10, the day after tomorrow the population will be 10,000, afterwards the population will be 1 lakh, it will be 10 lakh, 1 crore, 10 crore, and so on. So what happened? The end, there is no end to the number of population. If the first individual is having the need of gold, the second person will be also having the need of gold, the third person, fourth person, fifth person, 1,000 person, 1 lakh person, that particular individual will be also in need of gold. So what the human behavior, what human psychology has been dealt for, we have identified certain alternatives for these ornaments. From these ornaments, what do? We try to identify that the ornaments can be prepared of gold also, the ornaments can be prepared of silver also, it can be prepared of copper also, it can be prepared of platinum also, it can be prepared of the diamonds also, and so on. So what we are doing, we are supplementing, we are just changing our alternative uses. So what an individual do, in case of purchasing the gold ornaments, he will purchase the ornaments of silver, he will purchase the ornaments of platinum, he will purchase the ornaments of copper, and so on. So in this way, the human behavior is also changing, and accordingly with the availability of resources, we have to keep on changing our uses or scarce means. I hope I've explained your answer. It is clear. Yes, any other student, or we'll move further? Okay, next slide. So nature of economics. Now we'll understand about what is the nature of economics from the different angles or different perspectives. So in the first slide, we have understand about what economics is and what is the concept or what is the understanding in terms of economics that is there into existence. Now second perspective, that is understanding the nature of economics. So economics has been defined or it has been divided into three categories. That is economics as a science, economics as an art, and economics as a profession. So first thing that we'll understand or that we'll be look into perspective is economics as an science. Now, why economics is called as a science? So here, there are certain few explanations, or certain few points which give you understanding or which give an explanation about why economics is called as an science. The list is collection of facts, measurement, explanation, verification, validity, and social acceptance or application. Now, whenever we say a science is there into existence, what is a science? Science is a particular concern wherein it is a concrete or a fundamental concept which is applicable universally. So in this case, whenever we say that is the formula for uranium, the formula for sugar, the formula for water, it is applicable at all the stages or all the countries or all the continents. So in this case, now whenever we say water, that is H2O. So this particular formula of water, that is H2O, it is applicable in India, it is applicable in US, it is applicable in Germany, it is applicable in Australia and everywhere. So in this case, what happened? It is a collection of facts. So in this same fashion, in this same way, as science is applicable, as science is a collection of the different components. Whenever we say that we want to manufacture water, or whenever we say we want to produce sugar, what do? We process certain activities, we collect certain goods and services, and then only a particular product can be manufactured, or then only a particular product can be brought into existence. In the same way, in the same fashion, economics is also a certain concept, economics is also a certain perspective wherein it is a collection of facts that are there into existence. Now, what are those particular facts? These particular facts relate to your factors of production. So here in this case, whenever we say that I want to study Indian economy, I want to study US economy, I want to study German economy, I want to study US economy, what we are doing, we are understanding, we are collecting, we are going to the perspectives of all factors of production. That is the major four factors: land, labor, capital, and enterprises. So at every stage, at every point of time, the factors of production will be same for India. The factors of production will be same for US. The factors of production will be same for Australia.